I'm Liz Harrison, and you're hereby, let me start over. I'm Liz Harrison. I'd like to welcome you to the October 23rd regular meeting of the Brattleboro Housing Partnership Board of Commissioners with the Samuel Elliott Apartments, and we're starting a little after 4:35. Very good. Okay. So has everybody read the minutes from the last meeting? Does anybody have any questions or corrections or anything?
Liz, I just have to comment, my name's spelled with two L's.
Two L's?
I should.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that, Michelle.
That's okay.
Well, that's
I
important.
wasn't going to say anything, but
No,
there is
that's
actually
perfectly
another
all right.
Michelle Wright in town.
Good. All right.
So we'll get it right.
So we are very glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Yes. Do you have any questions or?
Oh, we have to vote on that. I'm sorry.
Pardon?
We have to vote
Minutes.
on the minutes.
Oh, I'm
Sorry.
My
Sorry to
apologies.
interrupt.
It's all right.
I need a motion to accept the minutes.
I move we accept the minutes.
Second.
I second.
All in favor? Aye. Great. Welcome. So, do you have any questions or concerns you'd like to share with us?
I wanted to give a suggestion on cleaning the garage floor. Have you talked to the DPW or whatever it is, Department of Works, to see if they can clean it for you with the swap broom that swirls with a green sweep, which cuts down the dust?
Are you asking me or are you asking the board?
Everybody.
So the board, so I'm happy to answer because I deal with the operations and the board oversees compliance and the governance, but it's good that you brought this concern. We talked about it at the last meeting.
Yeah.
I did bring it to the maintenance manager and he has put it out to bid. We just haven't gotten any offers for it yet.
Oh. Do you have a set bid or people
We asked for estimates.
for an estimate?
Yeah.
Okay, did you ask a few companies or just one?
Yeah, we put it out to several people and we haven't gotten, anybody hasn't returned to offer to do it yet.
Okay, and if you do, you're gonna pass out memos for people?
Oh yeah, we always do when we do
Yeah.
work in the building.
The other concern we got is we are not in control of the heating thermostats. Where here you got up to 80. We can't get it past 76. And people like me who take warfarin is very sensitive to the cold. I can't get it past 76. I would like to be able to control the thermostat up to whatever I need. Other people are complaining it's too cold, they can't get the thermostat running. Other people say it's too hot, they can't get it to stop. So somebody needs to check all the thermostats and why they're not all working right.
So it is working correctly. The problem is the whole system is a geothermal system. So geothermal means that it runs on these really large heat pumps and they circulate water, it goes underground, it does all these different things, it has valves. So all of the temperatures in the building have to stay within a range. So usually it's within eight degrees. And so if one is really far off, it'll affect the whole system. And so that's the way it was designed. And so it's always designed to put it in for the temperature of what is the allowable temperature plus and minus. So I don't know exactly what it's set at right now, but when the building was designed, they did set it at the median temperature has to at least be this, and that you are allowed to go up and you're allowed to go down, but you can't deviate that much outside of that. That's just the way the system is. It's a huge system. It was a big part of the building, and it costs $1 million probably to put in, and it just, there's no changing that. That is the system that it
So
is.
you can't control it like a thermostat.
You can't. It's not that direct heat like you would, a lot of, like in here, some of our other housing sites, they have electric heat where you turn it on and you can turn it as high as you want or you can turn it off. It is not that direct heat. The system is, all of the apartments are connected to each other. And so they have a large computer program that oversees it and they have to do all of these pieces and it can't be imbalanced in that way.
All right.
So when people move in, we have been trying to, give people information about this is how the thermostat works. Don't put it way up. Set it at the temperature you would like it to be, and just leave it there, because that's the way it works the most. But it will not go to 80. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah, it just won't go to 80, unfortunately. The only other thing they can do is put diverters so that the air, because sometimes people just feel colder because the air is moving. It's not that it's cold air, it's just that it's moving, and that in itself will give you the feeling like it might be cooler. If you would like a diverter, you could ask maintenance to put one in.
Can we put the heat up just another degree in the community room?
I don't know what it's set at. So these would be
69.
Yeah, so these would be great questions, and I'm happy for you to bring them here, but these are great questions for you to call me anytime during the week.
All right.
Yeah, and I'm happy to talk about it. That way I can reach out to David and I can say, what is it set at? And then we can go from there. I was in there the other day, and to me it was comfortable. I think it was at,
It's comfortable with one jacket I have.
yeah, what is it set at today?
69.
Yeah.
And it's still chilly in there. Another thing is, can we have a party in the high rise for everybody? Let's say a Thanksgiving party, bring your own food,
In
to
this
share.
building?
No.
Oh.
My building,
At Red Clover Commons?
Red Clover Commons.
Yeah, you could ask the property manager. You could ask them. We've
Oh,
had
the
people,
state,
we've had
you
people
mean?
do things like that before where they've organized a party and people do bring potluck.
Is that the state or housing?
You could contact your property management, Jen Short,
Yeah.
ask her and she'll follow up and find out if that's possible. But it wouldn't be a Brattleboro housing sponsored event. It would be if residents wanted to organize it within themselves. But,
Yeah.
We've had people do that. We've had Super Bowl
We had a few
parties and
people
Christmas
talk
Eve
about
parties.
it, that we'd like to have a party. Let's say Thanksgiving that's coming up, and then after that Christmas. And everyone being potluck. So,
Yeah, you just have to set up time and it just has to be open to everybody.
yeah, it is.
You see what happened, COVID is what happened. Because when COVID happened, you couldn't even go
Yeah.
into any of your community rooms. So that's the reason it stopped. It's because of COVID.
But now, things are getting better.
That's right.
Yeah, if residents want to organize that, I think that putting together a little committee and then presenting that to the property management,
So can I have to ask Jen first?
I would ask Jen, just so that she can reserve it and she knows exactly what the use will be, what equipment you'll be using, because some of the stuff isn't turned on all the time.
Yeah, the stove's turned off.
Yeah.
We need that. Somebody took away the coffee pot, so we can't do coffee unless somebody brings it back. So those things have to be done. And then we wanna, and the other thing is, who decorated this room?
I have no idea. Probably
Okay.
somebody who,
David said,
probably
Sash and
David, yeah, the sash coordinator.
The other, some people did it.
Well, we wanna know if we can decorate our community room, because there was an issue with that.
There was, yeah. That would be another property management question, for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there anything else you'd like to
I
share?
can't think of it. Oh, yeah. We need those seals that go around the door, especially around the winter time, because we got a little gap between the door and the hall. You could see through it, and that's when the cold air also comes in. I got a thing underneath the door to stop that, but you still got a gap. We should have a seal, that keeps the air out. We don't have that.
Well, the way the building was designed, it was designed without that seal. I don't know, I've never heard nobody else has brought that to my attention. So if you want to put in a work order and see if they can do something specifically to your door, that would be, we could see if that's a possibility. But I don't want to do everybody's door because some people haven't identified that they want that. So
There's a few.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
I do know that people it might be another barrier to opening the door for people. And so I wouldn't want to do that.
It's not a barrier. It's just that it locks out the extra air coming in and the bugs. Because I'm on the first floor,
Okay.
and we get more of the bugs than anybody.
You could call the main number and see if we can put a work order in for your door.
Okay.
And I can ask them and see if that's something we can do. I don't know that much about the design of the door and how that would work, but I would ask David.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Do you have anything else?
That's it.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Good. All right, our executive report, board report. Would you like to share anything about that, or does anybody have any questions? Very well written as usual.
Just several things. Several Vermont legislators were in Brattleboro to view the flood mitigation project, which was really wonderful, and they asked for testimony. So Chris Hart went up to Montpelier on Thursday to testify because of the same day the Vermont Housing Finance Agency came to Brattleboro, and they held their annual board meeting at Red Clover Commons, and they were also just impressed by that building. Many of the board members said if it was today, we would never be able to build this building again because it's so special. So it was really wonderful for them to get us to see it and get a tour of the building. They also talked a lot about flood mitigation and other redevelopment out of the floodway, and they asked for me to be on a panel for that day, so that's why I was there. We also talked about housing retention and permanent supported housing. Josh Davis and Elizabeth Bridgewater also attended to talk about their models in Brattleboro. So it was a really nice day to invite them down to this part of the state and to really see and talk about a lot of the hard work that's being done here to keep people housed.
Absolutely. Anybody have any questions? Okay, great. Thank you so much. The staff's reports review. The first item are the write-offs, and there's a total amount of $13,126.91. Writing off rents for various reasons. Does anybody have any questions that they'd like to ask about those? We've been through this before and the reasons.
Yeah, they were all different write-ups for different reasons for people leaving. A few were for lease terminations. You can see the large amounts of some of these terminations, over $5,000 each. The other ones were a little bit smaller, but still, someone moving into a permanent, more supportive housing with a balance of $2,400.
So if nobody has any questions, may I have a motion to write off the total amount of $13,126.91 for the two properties?
I make a motion in favor.
Okay. Second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Raise your hand. Thank you.
And just a reminder, so these, while they're being written off the books, they are actually staying, they will stay, so they will stay for the remainder. So if they ever get paid off, they will be
Right.
adjusted.
Right.
Okay.
So the resident wellness and service report, the program newsletters. I'm always amazed at these wonderful newsletters. Yes. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
So we just hired a new SASH coordinator today. So,
Oh, wonderful.
So that's wonderful. And the nice thing is she has some experience. She was a SASH coordinator in a different part of the state. So she's just relocating and wanted to work closer to home. So,
That's wonderful.
Yeah, great news.
That's wonderful news. Yeah. Well, I'm always impressed that there's so much information for all residents in these newsletters.
They do a
Yeah,
lot
they
of
do.
work.
Absolutely.
I will say the SASH team in particular, I don't know if you wanted to share anything about some of the events that are going on here. I know that he's scheduled more events.
We are having a bingo, we didn't have it today, and are trying to bone builders, but that's not quite off the ground. And then they're having a day where they have different fun activities. And then they have Fridays, they have arts and crafts.
Good.
Thursdays is his day out someplace else. So, and they are planning something, well, they're having a Halloween party on Halloween. And they're trying to do something for Thanksgiving too. A lot of people in here have no place to go, so they're trying to get something together. And,
good.
and the other holidays too.
That's good.
It's good to have somebody back.
Yeah, well, it might be helpful for Red Clover if they hear how you guys have gotten it going.
Yeah,
They might, that might be helpful for them. Oh,
course
that
they-
might be the doorbell.
Yeah, it's
No,
like,
that was my phone.
Oh, that was your phone. Okay.
it's like
Do you want me to
the
check?
holiday party, you know.
Downstairs anyway?
Yeah, I'll just run down. Do you mind, Michelle?
I don't mind.
So it's good because we've been living dead since before COVID. And he's very good.
Yeah. Good, excellent. Is it nice having someone here? Good.
He's very good. People like him too. He's starting really to get, bingo's very popular. And he's doing a movie night. And he did karaoke, but Wednesdays are bad for me because I have another commitment. And so, he's and they like him. He's
I have a question. Well, who's our SAS coordinator for my building?
Ashley.
Ashley doesn't show up much anymore.
Oh,
We need her.
okay.
And what I'm gonna put that, ask her to come back. Because we don't see her anymore. We don't get to talk to her anymore, what we would like.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay? Did you put that in your memo?
Yes, sir. Did anybody have any questions about the orange sheets, which is the property management's update?
Oh, gee, sorry.
Administration Housing Choice Voucher Program, and I think the HCB Administration Housing Choice Voucher Program select care plus care and the FSS. I think this is where we're bringing up review the fair market rents for 2024 with an increase of 10% over the HUD determined FMR for 2024.
So if you look at, this is just explaining what fair market rents are.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this just outlines the current fair market rents. So the top line is the current fair market rents, which we approved last year.
Right.
And we approved them to be 110% of the HUD fair market rents.
That's right.
The next line are the proposed HUD fair market rents for this area. This is at 100% if we were to accept that. Our proposal is to raise them further to 110%. So now if we do this, that means that in the last 2 years, we've raised it 20%, which I think will help somewhat to get people to be able to utilize their vouchers
Yes.
more effectively. So if you look here, 2-bedroom is $1,474. 3-bedroom, $1,831. While that's still, Brattleboro, the prices of rents have gone up so astronomically, but that may be enough, hopefully, to cover some of these rents in the community.
Right. Exactly. Does anybody have any questions about this? May I have a motion to accept the fair market rents for 2024 with a 10% increase? HUD determined fair market rent for Wyndham County, Vermont.
Make that motion.
May I have a second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye. Good proposal.
Yes, very good proposal. Okay. So. And everybody's reviewed the checklisting and comparables. Does anybody have any questions about the checklisting and the comparables? No.
So I just wanted to point a few things out on the comparables, if you don't mind.
Sure, please.
Just the overall budget, which is the first page, this excludes the tax credit properties, which are A.W. Richards, Red Clover Commons, and Red Clover Commons 2, because they have their own separate budget. This really shows if we break down all of the revenue at the top, you'll see that our revenue from rent is about $8,000 less than what we would like it to be. So that's really just back rents, people not, just we have a lot of people who are behind on their rent. But it's still, considering $8,000 isn't as bad as it could be. So that's a good thing. Then if you look further down, you'll see that the administrative salaries are below budget. So we had estimated that they would be about, if you look at the third column over, that's what the actuals are year to date. The second column is if we prorated it by the months. So we're really behind about $46,000. Our legal costs have gone up a lot, as you probably know, because we've been talking about that a lot. So that's a little bit higher than what we had thought, but we really did boost that number anyway, up to $38,000. If you go further down under maintenance, the salaries are also below. The reason I'm pointing this out, and the benefits are a little bit low, is because we level funded all the salaries for the year because we were really nervous about, what the healthcare costs would be, and we just weren't sure what the lay of the land was going to be, if people were going to be less likely to pay their rent, and where we would be for the budget. So at the 6-month mark, we're doing actually very, very well. I've spoke at length with our accountant, and he feels really comfortable with where we're at. If anything, he feels hopeful that we're going to come out ahead this fiscal year. The other thing is that we're not in snow season yet, so things can change. But even our contract costs are relatively in a good place. So we're doing really well considering. The only other thing I would say is I just wanted to give you just some information. So every year for the RAD properties, we're able to increase our rental subsidy. A small amount allows us to do that. It's called an OCAF, which is, I'm going to forget what it's cap adjustment of funding, basically. And so over the past 3 years, we have been able to accrue $138,000, and that comes out of our Section 8 money. We haven't taken it yet, so we're taking it as of this month. So we're drawing it down now. So we'll have $138,000 to add into this fiscal budget. And then our OCAF is also going up for the RAD properties by another 6% by the OCAF. So these were things that we hadn't taken because we were new to RAD, and to be honest, we didn't really know how it worked. I didn't know how it worked. So when we worked with HUD, they helped us to work through the process. So we're recouping that money for the last 3 years, which is really great. So I just wanted to make you aware of that. You'll see this big lump sum of money probably land into our operating accounts for the RAD properties. And I just didn't want you to think, I just wanted to give you a heads up of where it was coming from. So that's good news. The other good news is we raised the rents for Red Clover Commons 1. This doesn't raise the rents for the people who live there. They stay at the 30%, but it allows us to ask for more. The same as the fair market rent, landlords can ask us for more. It doesn't mean that our residents are paying more. So we're able to ask for more from Vermont State Housing, and that was granted. So that will go up. That will help the budget for that as well. Because our tax credit budget properties are tight. We've had a lot of costs related to Red Clover Commons in terms of overall heating costs, maintenance costs. The building is a big building to maintain, and so some of those costs have been really, really high. So the budget is just a little bit tighter than we'd like it to be. So we're looking at how to reevaluate that. With RCC2, there was a lot of elevator costs, which we didn't expect. That was based on just the initial building of the building. So we changed contractors for that, hoping that will decrease a little bit. Just wanted to give you the full picture. And James would like to attend our December meeting, which will be on Zoom.
Right.
So.
Super.
Yeah.
That's right.
Could I add one more thing to my list?
Certainly.
In front of Red Clover 1, it's a bunch of bushes, weeds, this thing growing tall. Do you think the people that do the grass in front of it can chop those down? Because it makes the front look ugly. It's overgrown weed or tall bushes or whatever.
Is it along the side of the building?
Yeah, along the front.
Those were plants intentionally built for, intentionally planted. There is a
And on the other
wastewater that runs under the building, and so those were intentionally planted for use. I know they look they're not like the most attractive building, but they are intentionally there. So I'll ask them if they can cut them back, but I feel like
because
when
they're
we've discussed it
really-
before.
We're sitting there and we gotta see through these. And we wanna have a view. We sit outside.
Maybe
Yeah.
just being trimmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can ask about that, but
And
I do
then trim
know
on
that
the other side of the patio.
Yeah. What about the back?
The back, no, that seems to be taken care of
The
good.
back patio?
Yeah, it's the front when we sit most of the time. We would like that cut down. Plus on the side of the patio, way overgrown. Actually, they're bending over into the
I
sidewalk.
can ask them about it.
Okay, that's it. Sorry.
And again, you can feel free to reach out anytime
Okay.
about maintenance for the building.
Okay.
Super. All right, at this point, we're going to go into what we call, one more item, check signing assignments. November, I will be taking, do we have a volunteer for December?
We can do December.
Okay,
And I don't know when Gary signed up. I didn't have it in my notes from the last meeting. so-
I remember him mentioning something.
I think you mentioned January, but I'm not sure. We'll just check with it.
Okay,
Yeah.
but as long as we have November and December covered, that's
November,
good.
December,
Perfect.
that's just fine. And there are 2 days, I've already checked with Bill and Joe, that I'm gonna do Thursday afternoon instead of Friday morning.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
I think we were going to talk about BHOI before we go into.
Oh, are we?
If you want
Yeah.
to, if we can.
There.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Sorry.
So, Brattleboro Housing Opportunities Incorporated, we have the financial statement here, and Dr. Would you like to give us an update?
Well, I'm not really
Oh,
on
that's
it
right,
anymore.
that's right. That's
so-
old habit.
Yeah, that's
Old
okay.
habit.
We haven't had a lot of changes, however, we are, and Gary would like to hear this because he suggested this, we had a staff member attend the Brattleboro Human Services grant meeting this week,
Yeah.
and we have come up with an idea of what we would like to apply for, so we're going to apply for some grant funding for that. We also are continuing to try to raise money for this, for the playground, but it looks like we're getting closer to really needing to order the equipment.
Yeah.
So I think Brattleboro Housing will order it with the hope that we'll be able to recoup some of the money in fundraising.
Yeah. Well, that was a very good.
But if we don't order it now, we won't be able to install it in the spring, which is really when we want to get it done. as
Right,
soon- yeah.
exactly. Okay, anything else for HOI?
Not at this point.
Okay, great. All right. Now, we are going to ask both of you to excuse us for a little while. We're going to go into executive session to discuss the approval of some contracts and also personnel changes, and we'll come back and then vote on those changes. Out of executive session. Okay, I'd like to bring up potential motion to accept the decision of the RFQ Review Committee for the Architectural Services. Do I have a motion to approve that?
I motion to accept the decision of the RFQ Review Committee.
I second it.
Second? All in favor? Aye. And I need a motion to accept the 95% Brattleboro Housing Partnership contribution to the 2024 Gold 1 MVP plan for calendar year 2024. Do I have a motion to accept that?
I'll make a motion to accept the decision, to accept the 95% Brattleboro Housing Partnership's contribution to the 2024
Good.
plan for the calendar year 2024.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Motion is passed. Okay, a reminder that we're gonna, November 13th at noon, we'll be at Red Clover Commons. for board officer elections at our annual meeting.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm very excited about it.
Yes,
The theme this year is innovation,
innovation.
and we'll be awarding our Thomas Yahn Award,
Yeah.
which is really nice, and we also are, we have some awards for residents. So I'm really excited. Some residents that went above and beyond for their community, so that's awesome.
Wonderful. Do I have a motion that we adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are now adjourned. Thank you so much for your participation and all of your hard work.
Thank
Yes.
you.